My name is Trisha, my husband Brett, and I have been married for 3 years. Shortly after our wedding, we built our own home. Currently, we're living with Brett's mother, who raised him alone and didn't want to live by herself. Brett's strong desire to make her life easier led us to this arrangement. Despite my initial concerns about living with my strong-willed mother-in-law, the reality turned out to be as challenging as I had feared. The only relief I found was during my time at work. It's my responsibility to do the grocery shopping after work and prepare dinner, as my mother-in-law rarely helps with housework. I'm using the kitchen right now. Can you wait a bit? She says. But I need to start making dinner soon. I'll be done in a little bit. Just wait for me. Okay, I understand. Why do we have only one kitchen when we live together? I asked. When we suggested a 2-family house, you refused, remember? Brett replied. Did I? I was probably trying to be considerate then. A 2-family house would have been more expensive, right? That's true, but in hindsight, having 2 kitchens would have been better. I thought so too, but I was being patient. You should be thankful to me for that. Really? I thought you refused the 2-family house because you didn't want to be alone. That's not the case. If I could, I would have preferred a 2-family house. Should we consider renovating then? I asked. Fine by me, but I can't pay for it. If we do, we'd need some financial support from you as well. Brett's mother replied, I have no intention of working anymore, and I spent a lot raising Brett as a single mother. I hardly have any retirement savings, so I can't contribute. But Brett and I are covering all the household expenses, including the mortgage and utilities. If you want a 2-family house, we need your help. I don't have any money to spare. I spent all my money on Brett. He's working at a good company, so he should pay me back more than I spent on him. If that's the case, we'll have to cooperate and get along from now on. Why do I have to be told what to do by you? If you earn more money, you can afford to renovate, can't you? I'm not telling you what to do. My salary isn't going to increase any further, so please don't count on me. Even though Brett makes a high salary, because he married you with your low income, we can't live comfortably at all, Brett's mother remarked. What are you trying to say? I asked, feeling a sting of anger. Sometimes I can't help but think it would have been nicer if Brett had married someone better. Is that so? You're able to live comfortably because of my son, who I've raised so carefully, so don't get too big for your britches. I'm working too, you know. I know exactly how much you make. You should be more grateful to my high-earning son. I am grateful, but what? If you're living off the money my son earned, don't complain about this and that. I might be relying on him, but I do earn my own money as well. Enough, she snapped. Why are you so angry? I asked, feeling the tension in the air. If you were highly paid, I wouldn't have to endure these difficult days. That's why I'm irritated, she replied with frustration evident in her voice. Even if you tell me that now, why do I have to spend every day alone with you? I questioned. Because Brett is on a business trip. We have no choice. He's hardly been home for the past 3 years, she explained. It's his job, so we can't help it, I reasoned. He didn't go on business trips before we got married. Why did this start happening? She wondered aloud. Because he changed jobs, I replied. But it's the same profession, right? Can the conditions change that much? She mused. It seems like the new company requires a lot of business trips, I offered. I'd rather live alone than this, I muttered under my breath. If you hate living with just the 2 of us that much, why don't you live alone? She retorted. Are you going to pay for my living expenses then? Maybe I'll do that, I countered. Why don't you ask Brett? She suggested. Brett will definitely want to live with me, I predicted. That may be true. I'll talk to him when he comes back on the weekend, she agreed. During the week, Brett is away on business trips, leaving just me and my mother-in-law in the house we built. Despite my discontent, I tried my best to avoid conflict, but it seemed Trisha also disliked living with me. We decided to discuss it when Brett returned home. It became apparent that it wasn't working out with the 3 of us, so I spoke to Brett first. Your mom said she doesn't like living with just me, I informed him. What? Why? Brett questioned, puzzled. She doesn't like that you're not at home because of your business trips, I explained. Well, I can't help it. It's my job, Brett reasoned. Why is it my fault? I defended. If you got along with her, she wouldn't have said such things. I bet you're just giving her lip, aren't you? Brett speculated. No, that's not the case. I've been cooking meals and doing all the house chores properly. I countered. Well, that's expected, isn't it? Britt remarked. What do you mean by that? I questioned. Mom has been through a lot raising me. I want her to have an easier time now, Britt explained. And that's why I'm trying to do right by her, Britt defended. Do right by her? House chores are your responsibility, I reminded him. What's with that attitude? Please get along with Mom better, Britt urged. I'm doing my best, but if it's causing stress for both of us, maybe it would be better for her to live on her own, I suggested. What a waste of money that would be, Britt argued. Well, yes, but maybe we should have built a duplex then. We can't afford a renovation now, I reasoned. If you could just curb your spending habits a bit, that wouldn't be a problem, Britt suggested. Why is it always my fault? I retorted. You're receiving extra for business trips, so instead of wasting it on slot machines, why not put it towards our living expenses? We'll be able to afford a renovation then, Britt proposed. I don't want to do that. Slot machines are my only joy during those trips, I admitted. What are we supposed to do, being stressed out then? I lamented. All you need to do is put in more effort and we'll get along like a real family, Britt responded. That's easy for you to say, but it's not easy to build a real familial bond with your in-laws, you know, I countered. You can say that after you've put in the effort, Britt insisted. What's that supposed to mean? I questioned. I'll ask Mom to be a bit more patient with you, Britt offered. Patient? It sounds like you're saying it's all my fault. Man, this is such a hassle, I sighed. Your job is twofold, to get along with Mom and to take care of the house. I'm counting on you when I'm not home, Britt reminded me. It appears Britt had a conversation with my mother-in-law as she eventually abandoned the idea of me moving out. However, things took a turn for the worse after their discussion. One evening, it was just the two of us at dinner again. Don't want this. It tastes bad, she complained. What's wrong? You've been very picky lately, I observed. Britt told me something, she said. What was it? I inquired. He said that I should get along better with you, she confessed. I see, I responded. He told me that I should speak my mind and not hold back, she continued. Is that so? I mused, sensing there was more to her words. He said that if I lived as if you were my own daughter, my stress would disappear, so I decided to stop holding back. Even if I didn't want to eat something, I had been eating it anyway, but I decided to stop that too, my mother-in-law explained. So that's what it was, I muttered, trying to comprehend her sudden change in behavior. From that day forward, my mother-in-law became increasingly selfish, adding to my stress. Whenever I tried to discuss it with Britt, he would dismiss my concerns, insisting I wasn't trying hard enough and offering no assistance. I reached my breaking point. By the way, did you clean the bathroom yesterday? She asked. Yes, I did, I replied. You left it dirty, she accused as she emerged from the bath, triggering my boiling anger. I'm sick and tired of being nagged about these little things every single day, I exclaimed in frustration. Huh? Britt told me to treat you like my real daughter, so that's what I'm doing, my mother-in-law defended. Real daughter? I don't remember becoming your daughter. What's with that attitude? I think you're mistaking me for a servant, not a daughter, I retorted. Well, now that you mention it, you do seem like a servant, she remarked. I'm not your servant, I insisted. Then why don't you leave? She challenged. That's what I should be saying. What? Do you really plan on kicking me out even though you don't contribute to living expenses? I fired back. Of course, Britt is the head of the household, she asserted. But I'm Brett's wife, I reminded her. What are you talking about? I am Brett's mother. Do you think a wife has a higher status? My mother-in-law challenged. It's not about status or anything like that, I clarified. Then what is it? Do you think Brett will choose you over me? She prodded. I think Brett will choose you, mother-in-law, because he cherishes you so much, I reassured her. That's more like it. Are you really sure it's okay if I leave? She questioned. Why worry? It'll definitely be okay without you. I feel relieved, actually, I admitted. Is that so? Even if it might make things financially difficult, it's okay? She pressed. Huh? Why worry? It's none of your business, I responded defensively. I understand. Britt earns $70,000 annually. We're comfortable, so stop undermining us, she insisted. I'm not undermining. I'm just worried, I confessed. There's no reason for you to worry. Stop belittling us. Get a divorce quickly, understood, my mother-in-law commanded. There seems to be no need to discuss this with Brett. I will pack my things and leave promptly. I responded calmly. Ah, finally the nuisance is gone, she remarked. Several days later, I departed without informing Brett. If I had consulted with Brett, who adores his mother, I would be the one to be blamed. As if to confirm it, there was no contact from Brett, who must have returned from his business trip, and I resolved to divorce. I arranged to meet Brett alone. Dude, I told you to get along with Mom. Why did you fight? Brett questioned. It seems you're only siding with your mother, making everything my fault. I replied. What? You want to say you were harassed by Mom? Let's not. There's no need to argue here. I've already decided to get a divorce, I declared firmly. Wait, are you intending to divorce me? Brett asked, surprised. Yes. Did you think we were going to divorce? I replied. Well, we're not on bad terms or anything, Brett reasoned. There's no way I can continue to live with a mother-in-law like that. And you, Brett, you're a mama's boy who has no intention of helping me, I accused. I'm not mama's boy, Brett protested. You're nothing but a mama's boy, I insisted. Is that so? Brett questioned, hurt by my words. Your mother is all about you, Brett. It's mutual love, so enjoy it, I remarked bitterly. Hey, you must be kidding me, Brett said, disbelief evident in his voice. Wishing you a lifetime of happiness, I said, my decision firm. We completed our divorce papers without any issue, and we were officially divorced. Since the house was mortgaged under Brett's name, it became his property. Then just a month after our divorce, I received a call from Brett. He said he had something important to discuss involving his mother, so I reluctantly agreed to meet them. Wait a minute. What's going on? Why are you being so emotional all of a sudden? Brett asked as I entered the room. Don't play innocent, I replied, my emotions running high. Excuse me. Brett looked confused. We can't make ends meet with just Brett's earnings alone, I explained, trying to hold back my frustration. Well, of course, you can't, Brett responded, seemingly puzzled. What do you mean? I asked, feeling a mix of confusion and irritation. We completed our divorce papers without any issue, and the house, under Brett's name, became his. Just a month after our divorce, I received a call from Brett. He said he wanted to discuss something important with me involving his mother, so I reluctantly agreed to meet them. Wait a minute, what's going on? Why are you being so emotional all of a sudden? I questioned as I entered the room. Don't play innocent, Brett responded, his tone tense. Excuse me, I replied, taken aback. We can't make ends meet with Brett's earnings alone, Brett explained, his frustration evident. Well, of course, you can't, I replied, trying to understand. What do you mean? I asked, sensing there was more to the statement. We used to pay for our living expenses with my earnings as well, and he's bringing home less than I thought, not even $70,000 a year, Brett revealed. It seems like you were mistaken, mother-in-law, I interjected. What do you mean? She asked, confused. The one making $70,000 a year is me, I confessed. What? Then how much does Brett make? She inquired, surprised. Brett used to earn around $50,000 a year before he changed jobs, but it dropped significantly after that, I explained. I didn't know that, she admitted. Well, it's not a surprise you didn't know. It's not something we would necessarily tell you, I replied. Even so, his take-home pay is way too low, she concluded, concern evident in her voice. That's because his salary is being deducted for his gambling debts, I confessed. What? My mother-in-law exclaimed, clearly shocked. That's why his take-home pay is significantly less, and I had to supplement the shortfall with my salary, I explained. Why didn't you tell me sooner? She questioned, her voice tinged with concern. No, I did tell you. I warned you that it would be financially tough, but then you told me it was none of my business, I reminded her. Well, I didn't say anything because I thought it would be bothersome to you, she admitted. He seems to be gambling every day on his business trips too, I added. Brett has a gambling addiction, you know, I revealed, the weight of the situation sinking in. We managed to pay this month's gas, water, electricity, and everything else, but I don't think we can pay them next month. Brett confessed. That sounds tough, I sympathized. It's hard, so come back, Brett pleaded. What are you talking about? I asked, taken aback. Marry him again and come back, Brett suggested. That's way too convenient for you, I replied, skeptical. If you come back, I promise I won't meddle or complain anymore. I apologize for everything in the past, please, Brett begged. That's impossible, I asserted, knowing deep down it wasn't the solution to our problems. At that point, Brett, who had been silent all along, spoke up. I didn't know anything about the money situation either. I thought we were making do with just my salary, Brett admitted. There's no way that was possible. I feel guilty for always siding with my mother. Can't we start over? I asked, hopeful. Being able to leave a gambling addict was a relief, so remarrying is absolutely out of the question, I added firmly. What's with that attitude? Brett questioned, hurt by my words. Moreover, I can't handle a mama's boy, I confessed, my frustration evident. Don't say such things, Brett pleaded, his voice tinged with disappointment. You two are in love, so why not work together and give it your all? You should be able to make it, my mother-in-law intervened, trying to reconcile us. I beg you, Brett added, his tone pleading. Are we done with this topic? If so, I'd like to leave soon. It's my day off and I have things to do, I stated, trying to end the conversation. Please come back home. If you don't, I'll be the one who has to work, Brett's mother pleaded. Please work hard and support Brett. I'm counting on you, Brett added, his tone desperate. Ignoring their pleas for reconciliation, I left. I had kept their contacts in case something happened, but I took this opportunity to block them and delete their contacts. I requested a transfer to a store near my parents' house and moved into an apartment close by. Brett's house was about a 2-hour drive away, and Brett disliked my father, so he probably wouldn't come to this area. Half a year later, I worked at the previous store near Brett's house for the first time in a while as part of a support team. I was curious and passed by their house only to find a surprising sight. The house was up for sale. They must have been unable to make the payments. Then, while I was at work, I saw my mother-in-law, and she noticed me and approached me. I finally found you, she said, her tone serious. What's going on? I asked, feeling a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. I thought we might meet if I waited here, my mother-in-law admitted when she saw me. To my surprise, she was working at the supermarket next to the cell phone shop where I worked. Are you working? I asked, noticing her uniform. You can tell by looking, she replied, a hint of sadness in her voice. So you're working here in hopes of seeing me? I questioned. That's right. I wanted to ask you to come back home as soon as I saw you, she confessed. Are you still saying that? I have no intention of returning, I stated firmly. Don't say that, she pleaded, her eyes pleading for understanding. We had to sell our house and can't live there anymore, she revealed, her voice heavy with regret. I see, I responded, feeling a pang of sympathy despite my resolve. We're somehow managing to live in a small apartment, just the two of us, my mother-in-law shared. Well, that's good. You're living happily with your beloved son, I replied, trying to sound positive. Don't mock me, and Brett has a part-time job. He often doesn't come home on his days off. We barely have any time to talk, she lamented. Is that so? Brett must be having a hard time, I sympathized. I didn't want to work anymore, but look at me now, she sighed. You're having a tough time too, but please continue to support Brett, I encouraged. I can't do it. Please, won't you consider reconciling? She pleaded. Stop being so persistent. I've told you it's impossible, I replied, my tone firm. Don't say that, please, she begged, her voice trembling. I have to get back to work. I don't have time to engage in pointless conversations, I stated, trying to end the discussion. It's not pointless for me, she whispered, her eyes filled with sadness. It's a pointless conversation. I wish you and Brett a long and happy life together, I declared, attempting to end the discussion. Wait a minute, my mother-in-law pleaded, desperation evident in her voice. Apparently, the two of them who sold the house are now living in a small apartment. As far as I know, they still have 2 years left to repay their gambling debt, so they'll probably live hand to mouth until then. I hope they can work together and overcome this. As for me, I'm doing my job every day with energy and enjoyment. Things have been going well for me since the divorce. Good things come in bunches, and I'm grateful to be dating a wonderful man right now. I want to be happy next time.